Welcome to another episode of Lost in the Dark podcast, everyone. I am Burton, and it is Monday, motherfuckers. It is, it is Monday, March 11th, and we are here getting lost together. I appreciate you joining me. Just a couple things I want to talk about tonight. Fucking, off the top, I gotta tell you, even though I knew it was going to happen, I was fully aware, it didn't catch me off guard in any way, shape, or form. This daylight savings time really fucked me up on Saturday night. I got home at like 12:30, and I was just like watching TV and shit. Next time I looked at the clock, it said 4 a.m. I was like, there is no fucking way. I've been sitting here for almost 4 hours. There's absolutely no way. And then I remember daylight savings time. And yeah, it kind of messed with me all the way into today, almost a little bit. And let's be real. Like, daylight savings time is fucking bullshit. It's completely fucking pointless. You want to know where it comes from? Here, let's look this up real quick, because I know I got this here. Where did daylight, and then the first thing that pops up is savings time come from? Or why did daylight savings time start? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So yeah, it's always like to preserve the amount of daylight, but why? Okay. So the first time it was like instituted was April 30th, 1916. The German Empire and its ally Austria were turned ahead by 1 hour on April 30th, 1916. 2 years into World War I. The rationale was to minimize the use of artificial lighting to save fuel during the war effort. Okay, so because there's more physical daylight in the summertime, they were just trying to like preserve how much they had like light bulbs and were burning fuel to have light and stuff like that by making it longer. So here's the kicker. The United States didn't fucking... let's see. Oh, really? So it was enacted in the United States in 1918. And in Germany in 1960. So yeah, but I think it was like enacted for the same fucking reason. Yeah. So really, it's kind of bullshit because like we don't have the same kind of like energy restraints that they did back then. So were you kind of going like on an arcane fucking thing here? Like it's kind of horse shit. And but recently, so hold on one second. Got another story here for you. Fucking. This is from March 8th from the Detroit Free Press. There is a bill that would end daylight savings time in Michigan. This time, State Representative Michael Hoitenga, I think, sponsoring a bill, saying it's a nuisance. Yeah, there's plenty of fucking data that shows it's bullshit, and that it's not good for us at all. But yeah, it just says the bill, and then it doesn't really say anything else about when it would be talked about again or anything. But there is a bill that's going through in Michigan that would hopefully fucking end this ridiculousness. This ridiculous bullshit. The bullshittery. But yeah, I just felt like talking about that. So another thing, so a long, long time ago, there was a show on VH1 in the reality days called Supergroup, I think it was called. And it was a show that literally had like a bunch of like really great metal and rock musicians and put them together in one band to see what would happen, and like made a whole reality fucking show out of it. And in the band, here, let me look this up. In the band was I know it was Ted Nugent, Sebastian Bach, I think Scott Ian was in it. Hold on. This will give me the list. Sebastian Bach, Jason Bonham, Scott Ian, Ted Nugent, Evan Seinfeld, and Doc McGee. Yeah. Wait, no. Here we go. So Sebastian Bach was lead vocals, John Bonham was drums, Scott Ian was rhythm guitar, Ted Nugent was lead guitar, and Evan Seinfeld was bass guitar, and he's from Biohazard. And they were all like, they had to like come up with a band name, and songs and everything. And I always thought it was funny. One of the band names that Sebastian Bach really loved was, he was like, "What if we called the band Skull? I love that name, man. It just rolls off the tongue. Skull." He kept saying that over and over, and it was fucking hilarious. Or wait. No. I fucked that up. I'm sorry. The fucking the band name he came up with was Fist. He was like, "Fist. It just rolls off the tongue. Fist." Yeah. Fist. He liked Fist. That's what it was, I'm pretty sure. The band name ended up being Damocracy. But then not long after that, Preston and I were trying to come up with our first band's name. I wanted to name our band Skull, and it was kind of for the same reason. I was like, it rolls off the tongue. It was after I saw that, I was like, it kind of works. And we ended up going with Vaccination, and fucking, yeah, we kind of laugh at it. And I swear to God, a little while ago, I saw an ad pop up for a concert on Facebook for a band called Skull Fist. Swear to God, there's a band called Skull Fist. So me and Sebastian Bach had it right, as it turns out. I saw that, and I thought that was funny. Also wanted to mention, this isn't going to be a full-on review for it, but I did see Captain Marvel, and I will throw out a rating. Solid 3 out of 5 goat heads. Really good all around, but I felt like the pacing was kind of weird, which is odd because it's something that normally the Marvel movies are the best at, I think. Like, they're so good at balancing so many things in one movie and making you feel fulfilled with all the individual storylines going on and everything. This movie did not do that as well. However, it was really good. I liked it a lot. After credit scenes were amazing. Definitely go see it. It was fantastic. But the thing I wanted to talk about it was Stan Lee's cameo. Anyone with their nose to the ground at this point knows that the film takes place in 1995, which is the same year that Kevin Smith was releasing Mallrats. And that's also the second time Stan Lee ever had an on-screen cameo in anything. And his cameo in the film is he's on a bus and he's sitting there reading his lines in the script for Mallrats. And when I saw that, like, it floored me, because like I'm such a huge fan of Kevin Smith. Like, I've spent so many hours listening to him talk and watching his movies and every single fucking podcast and all that stuff. Like, you know, for him to get a shout out in a Marvel movie like that, something he's just almost famous for just being a fan of, and in that way too, in the way of his hero Stan Lee, the man that made him love comics, reading the lines to the movie that he put him in. You know what I mean? It's like so fucking inceptioned, like uh, of awesome. It's unbelievable. And I just wanted to talk about it for a minute because it really like that's gotta be just the most amazing fucking like that for me. The equivalent of that would be if in a future Marvel movie there was a quick shot of people being on Lost of Kevin Smith being on an episode of Lost in the Dark podcast in a Marvel movie. And because Kevin Smith is my Stanley. Like he's the one that made me fall. Like as a kid, I loved comics and I loved superheroes and all that stuff. I found it all on my own as a kid, just as kids do. But then you get to an age and you either fall out of it and never come back, or you stay with it, or you fall out of it and then do come back, which is what I did. And I came back because of Kevin Smith, because of when I found his podcasts. Hearing him talk about like the Batman animated series and hearing it through his eyes and stuff like that made me fall in love with it again, even though for me it was just the cartoon I grew up with. It was just that was my cartoon. That was my cartoon as a kid. Yeah. I didn't realize how special it actually was until hearing him talk about it. So, what Stan Lee did for Kevin Smith has done for me in a big bad way. And to see that kind of come full circle in that way, especially literally while he's filming the next Jay and Silent Bob movie for this to come out, it's just one of the best, coolest cameos, tributes, shout-outs, things that I've ever fucking seen. Like, I would have never, like, that is so awesome. So inside baseball awesome. Like, I love it so much. So even though they'll never hear this, shout out to Kevin Smith and Kevin Feige for bringing that to life. All right, meat and bones. What I really want to talk about tonight. So full disclosure, Aaron isn't here. Obviously, I am soloing it tonight, and I really wanted to hang on to this and talk about it with Aaron. And so I'm sure we will talk about it on the next episode him and I do together. But I just I wanted to get some words out, let people know my thoughts and stuff like that. Okay. So Lords of Chaos. My metalheads out there. Now, this is an interesting phenomenon in a sense for me. I don't remember the last time that like so many metalheads and metal news outlets and pages I follow and it was lighting up everything. It's been lighting up everything. We're talking about a movie. Like it's not very common for movies to be made in our genre. They're usually documentaries, which I love, but it's very rarely anything like this. This is just a straight up movie, Hollywood fucking movie. So it's about Lords of Chaos. Is about Mayhem. The notorious true Norwegian black metal band that got infamous because the lead singer, rumors abound that, well, he definitely killed himself with a shotgun, but that the band member that found him made necklaces out of pieces of his skull that the band members wear. And then another band member ends up being responsible for burning down all the churches, a lot of churches at least in Norway, and ultimately killing another band member, the founder of the band, Euronymous. Uh, and so yeah, it's a really fucking crazy story. It's like probably one of the most notorious crazy stories in heavy metal history. Between that, what happened to Dimebag, yeah, there's a few really bad ones, and that's definitely one of the worst. Now, the crazy part for me was going into it, like I'd heard all of this before, but for some reason I didn't realize it was all about one band. I thought a different band, their lead singer killed himself and they made necklaces, and then another band was burning down the churches. I thought those two were different for some reason. I don't know why. But no, it's all the same band. Now see, here's the thing. There's two ways to judge this movie, I think. On the one hand, you judge it on accuracy, and on the other hand, you judge it as a film. Did it do its job and entertain you? So let's start with the first one. This is a film based on a book I have not read of the same title, Lords of Chaos, about this situation. Let me see who wrote that. Real quick, let me look up that. But fucking Rory Culkin, Macaulay Culkin's brother, stars as Euronymous in the film. And I've heard him on a number of interviews lately, and he even said like the movie's really only about like 2 chapters in the book, like it's really like a shortened, dramatized version. It's the movie version. You know what I mean? Like it's not. So in terms of that, okay, so here we go. The book is by okay, hold on. Yeah, Michael Moynihan. Yeah, probably just Moynihan. Founder of the group Blood Access, and then the other author is Didrik Soderlund. Who are these guys? Like, so the first chapter is outline the progress. Okay. Is an account of the Norwegian metal scene focused on the church burnings. Yeah. So I don't understand like outside of research, how did they get enough to actually write a book? Because neither of them were. I don't know. It's weird. So in the start of the film itself. So I see a lot of comments online talking about how it's, if you see this film, you're supporting lies and this and that and blah blah blah. Well, the fucking start of the film, the first thing on the fucking screen is this is a film based on truth, lies, and what actually happened. So all three, okay? This is clear. It's a film. It's dramatization. And I wasn't looking for any historical accuracy in it. And they did at one point say that they didn't make necklaces out of pieces of his skull, that it was just chicken bone. I don't know. I feel like I need to do research into this now, honestly. And we'll have more. We'll definitely have more to talk about in terms of the actual facts and things like that, and the folklore surrounding the band Mayhem when Aaron is on talking with me about it. But in terms of like looking at it as needing to be accurate, or like if you watch it you're supporting lies or anything like that, yeah, fuck off. Like, just watch it as a movie. Like, look at it as, oh, someone made a dramatized version of one of the most notorious stories in heavy metal history. Like, that alone is kind of worth the watch, to me at least. Like, fuck, if you love heavy metal, especially if you love black metal, then yeah, like, it's definitely, don't go into it looking for a documentary. If you want the documentary, watch the Banger Films documentary, in Metal Evolution or whatever, the episode on that. It's free on YouTube, for Christ's sake, on black metal. So if you want to watch a fucking black metal documentary, watch that one. There's others too, like something about the light. There's one on Amazon. I haven't watched it yet, but something about like the light shall find us. I don't remember. Something like that. But yeah, don't come here looking for that, is what I'm saying. So if you go in with that in mind, now you're left with, okay, let me judge this on a film basis. Did it entertain me? Was it good? You know what I mean? Okay. Yes. It definitely entertained me. I was pretty drawn in the entire time. I ended up liking Rory Culkin's performance quite a bit of Euronymous. The guy that played Varge, the one who killed Euronymous and did the church burnings, I thought he did a pretty good job. He was pretty like cold and stuff like that. Again, that doesn't mean that's historically accurate. That's just the way it was portrayed in the film. But I thought he did a good job at that. I liked the only part, my only real like complaint, I guess, would be is that like after the first like 30-40 minutes, the music is so rarely mentioned, and it becomes almost like this is like almost like a loose cult sort of thing that's happening here. And I get why they took that direction. It makes sense and it was gripping. But after the movie was over, I was like, I wish they had talked a little bit more. I wish they'd spent more time on the music, because that beginning part where, the band was forming, they got that house where Death killed himself with the original lead singer of the band, and all that stuff. That was really awesome, I thought. I liked all of that a lot. I enjoyed that part of the film. So, yeah. I thought some parts, the writing was a little iffy, and yeah, it's definitely not a very high budget film. It's not extremely high budget. The gore in it was really cool. I thought the gore made me feel weird watching it, because it was really like, it was pretty fucking well done. Maybe not like in accuracy, but it was, I'm so used to like someone getting stabbed once and they're dead, or someone getting shot in the head, or not shot in the head, obviously shot in the head, getting shot once anywhere in there. I'm like, in a lot of movies lately, people go down quick. In this movie, it took a while to kill people, and that was pretty fucking brutal. Metal as fuck. So there's that. Yeah, if I would, so yeah, I give it but I also like low budget, like kind of like indie looking, like kind of movies like that, especially if they're about music and there's a bunch of metalheads in them. And I liked Euronymous in how like he fucking had a record store and started his own label and stuff. It's like, oh my god, I wish I could fucking do that. You know what I mean? Like if I could, you can't even have a record store anymore. They don't really exist. We've talked about that at nauseum on this podcast, and we will continue to. Um, but yeah, that there was a lot of that I thought it was really cool. Yeah, I don't know. There was a lot I liked about it. When it was over, I was like, wow, I really enjoyed that. So, but I also wasn't looking for any historical accuracy or this or that. You know what I mean? Like I was just fucking watching a movie about metal. I thought it was cool. So judging it based on that. Um, Now let me be clear. I'm not. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I give it. I mean, huh. That was only on one watch too. I feel like I need to watch it again to really like get a feeling off of it. But it's somewhere in between like a 2.5 to a 3 go aheads probably for me. Like good, not great. You know what I mean? Um, but definitely good and definitely worth watching. I enjoyed it. I thought it was cool. That's for sure. So yeah, definitely worth checking out. I would say if you like black metal, if you're a fan of the heavy metal, um, Lords of Chaos, new movie about mayhem, Euronymous, Varge, and death, the most notorious black metal band in history. Um, it's a terrible Norwegian impression, but yeah, definitely worth checking out. Like I enjoyed it. I think it's on streaming platforms. I don't think you can get a hard copy or anything like that. At least not yet. I'm not sure. I couldn't find one at least. Um, but I thought it was pretty fucking good. I enjoyed it. So if you like heavy metal and everything, it's at least worth giving it a look. That's for sure. So yeah, that's my take. That's my take on it for now. At least like going off the cuff, sitting here alone, I would definitely am looking forward to talking to Aaron about it. Hopefully he gets back here down into the crypt with me at some point this week. That's for fucking sure. Fingers crossed for that. But if not, I'm sure you'll hear from me again. But no matter what, next weekend, this coming up weekend, I will be out at the Flint Crypt celebrating my brother Preston's birthday, the co-founder of this podcast. We will certainly be doing a podcast. He just got back from Florida, so we haven't seen each other since his birthday. He was gone for his birthday in Florida, and this next weekend is the first time I'll be free to get out there. Very much looking forward to that. It's also St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, we're gonna have it's gonna be crazy. We're gonna have a great time. So bit to look forward to this week, and then Monday we got our next fucking concert, Children of Bodom, down at St. Andrew's Hall. Unbelievably looking forward to that. My copy of Hexed has not arrived in the mail yet. I'm a little bit upset about that. Bummed out. I was really hoping it would get here today so that I could listen to it tomorrow and do an episode review for you all. But it has not yet. But the second it is, you will know. Be sure, and if you want to know, if you give a fuck, follow us on Instagram and Facebook. I will be posting on there about it for sure. Be sure to follow us on those. Hit the like and the subscribe on the YouTube. Subscribe on podcasts or subscribe on iTunes and anywhere else you find your podcasts at. Thank you very much for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show tonight. Like I said, we will be back again very soon. Yeah, that's about it. That's about it from me tonight. So thank you all very, very much for getting lost with me, and stay metal, my friends. Good night.